All right, y'all, we got the legend here, the light skinned offspring of Paul Mooney. I don't know how he's so light skinned, but he is, right? And so
My mother's light skin. She's light
yeah,
skin.
I'm sure it was. I just wanted to talk shit about him being light skinned. I mean, I'm sure that was gonna be the answer. But anyway, I've been knowing this man for a very long time, years now, and we've had many conversations, met him in person, and he got some shit to say about Tyrese. Now, I want to know what your problem is with Tyrese. Because when I listen to Tyrese, I actually appreciate his vulnerability. I think he says some shit that I like. Actually, like it when men cry and say things like that hurt my feelings or I feel fucked up about things. The whole armor of acting like shit don't hurt you, shit don't bother you. He says something like, whenever a miscarriage happens, it don't just affect the woman. Whenever women are not the only one who are hurt by divorce and all of that shit. I can appreciate those things. I love him like I love when men cry. I think it needs to be more normalized because I do feel like when it comes down to mental health in men, men suffer the most because you don't have the safe space. We still this dump boys on cry shit. I think it's detrimental to our community. So I like those things that he says, but I'm sure you got some problems with some other shit. So let's go ahead and get into it. What is your problem with what Tyrese got going on right now?
You going in and out, so like I said, I believe it's my I am. Um, you were talking about divorce, and did you mention Tyrese?
Yes, I did. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard that. The problem I have, I first of all, I think marriage is great. I'm married. I've been married for over 20 years now, and this is my second marriage. Legal, but I feel like I've been married probably four times, but legally twice. So I think marriage is a good thing. I think the European concept of marriage or the Western concept of marriage can be very tricky because marriage was created slave right. I mean, excuse me, slavery was created out of marriage. Like if you read the documents on slavery, it's the same ownership as so it functions in a European structure or Western structure be confusing. A lot of times, um, it looks now the modern way, it looks like a woman has a lot of safety and she gets things if the relationship ends. However, um, the inside of the marriage that goes down where it's pretty much an ownership and men get all the blessing from women with the structure of it. A lot of times women have turned that around, made it work for them because women are very smart, made it work for them to be that wife, to be the housewife, to be at home, raise the children. They want a side job, fine, and they made it work for them. And so part is okay. In reality, protection is good, but you don't really need to be married to have protection. You can sign documents. Uh, you can create an LLC. You can have a contract with a person that has nothing to do with extra structure. So that's my take on that. But if one wants to get married, that's fine. I would never get married again. And even though I'm married now, I live like a matrix married person. And I find that to be, I mean, they always say, when you're like that, I'm even sure you've heard, you know, you're going to die alone. They put that on women, but they also put that on men. Men have multiple women and you're dealing with multiple women, you're going to die alone. Well, they think player energy. I'm pretty much never alone unless I want to be alone. So, because I have well, women that loving relationships. And since they all know about each other, they have the choice to deal with each other or not. They can be sister wives or sister girlfriends or whatever they want to be, or they can not be. It's up to them. Early on, when I was polyamorous, I used to force it. It don't work. It don't work. If it happens naturally, fine. So marriage energy, I have wives, lovers in my life, so my connection goes beyond separate right now, not living together right now. Because I deal with always have access to wherever I am. They can be there if they want to be, and if they don't want to be there, they don't have to be. They can be there part time. They can be there full time. It's up to them. They have their own lives. So look at somebody like Tyrese, who's a multi-millionaire. Pretty much marrying the same type of woman and expects different results. He will get the same results with the marriage he's in now. We eventually get tired of him and leave him and want money as much as she can get. He tends to cry about that. Like, well, at the deal up front, what you want to happen, relationship separates. But I really feel soul singers have problems. Because soul singers sing about what? Fairy tale love. Sing about fairy tale love. I think it goes into the subconscious mind. They act it out. We see them get into crazy relationships. A lot of it we don't even hear about. By Reese's case, you got to, when they say, baby boy, the movie, it's like he is baby boy. He acts like a kid. Cries. He acts like he's the victim, like he has no control. There's no part in it, and you can see him. I mean, if I was a woman, I would get tired of Tyrese. Get tired of. He's, he wants to control. He's an emotional person and he's a control freak. How can you be a dominant person and be emotional?
Okay, wait. Okay. Can I ask a question? Can you hear me? You hear me? What is wrong with crying as a man? I don't think you're saying
Crying,
wrong. I don't think you're saying there's anything wrong with a man
I think it's
having
right. And
experience
being
to cry.
emotional, if you said crying and emotional,
Yeah, what's wrong with a man? Okay, what's the difference between a man crying and being emotional if something is hurtful? What's
okay,
wrong with
that's
that?
a good point because as a man, this planet, you know, this is where we fall into. Uh, we talk about yin yang, and we talk about men are androgynous, so everybody's androgynous. We have the male female in us. Well, I believe really that all of us have male female in us. Your dominant one is what you physically were born with in this body. What are you dominant? What's your dominant energy? Is to be a man. You're going to utilize the more masculine principles of the masculine feminine in you. So that means you can be emotional, you can be soft, you can be loving, you can be giving, you can be tender, all of that. You just can't be anything goes down, that's the way you are. Because men in their natural nature, always, we think logic. So we're going to logically process things. Tyrese, again, not logically processing things. He gets caught up in his feminine energy. That's the feminine energy problem. And remember, he's an artist. That artistic nature, feminine energy within itself. It's easy for artists to fall into their feminine nature and let it take over. Nothing wrong with him telling the truth, of speaking his truth. However, a man going to use his masculine energy to take care of where I messed up, taking accountability and responsibility, what created the action in the first place. Looking at how relationship ended, it started and how it ended, make sure he makes better decisions the next time. Cry about everything that happens to you based on how you feel. It's not what men do. Do it once, maybe for about 5-10 minutes, but when it's on and on and on, where you see him, talking about his other woman and he's with a new woman now, what is she thinking? He's talking about another woman. So what is she thinking? What is he going to do to me when I do something wrong? He's got to be thinking that. So you got to understand that when men put themselves in a position and you're dogging other women that you've been with, be very careful with that. Like, you can talk about it to a point. Again, be accountable that you created the situation. I don't know if you saw a comment on the line I put up, Facebook I put up when I talked about the joke, but it really happened. I told my mother, I downsized from the way I was living and also women because of finance. She said, because of finances, I got a boyfriend. See, I just thought that was so funny. Because it's the same thing, but from different ends. I'm downsizing because of finances on the other end, and she's adding because of her finances are low. So she's adding a man, and I'm subtracting women because my finances are low. So it's the same thing. So where she just said that to me in a joke, and I laughed, that's where I get it from. So I attract, needy women. That's where my mother is. As soon as her finances are low, she's going to get a man. Well, my finances are low, I'm going to get rid of women. That's from my mother. Well, to correct that, I already have, because I didn't know where I got it from. So that's where I got it from. I've already corrected it. Like, now, there's nothing wrong with attracting needy women. That's fine. It's nothing attracting beautiful women that Tyrese attracts. It's how you deal with them. Understand what they are, so you can not let them step over boundaries where it makes you emotionally distraught. Like, you have to know what you're dealing with. Okay for me to deal with a needy woman. She needs something, I'm going to give it to her. But do I give her something all the time? If I'm giving her something, what is she doing for it? Right? So it's got to be a give and take to everywhere where everybody is appreciated. So there's nothing wrong with who he's dealing with, approach, because he's into that fairy tale energy. You got to understand, women are getting with him because he's a rich, handsome, charismatic brother, right? So women are getting with him, and then why is he getting with that type of woman? Because the way she looks, maybe her softness, her gentleness that she's presenting. So when she turns or gets older, how do you deal with her then? It's like, you got to understand you are dealing with, and that changes. Don't be surprised about the shadow of anyone or the shadow of yourself. Have what we call, I think you always call it, have your boundaries. That's what he tends to fall in love fall in love, you forget that you're dealing with the real human being has some shit going on, and you got some shit going on. You have to look at that part too, and just don't be in a fantasy fairy tale energy where you get lost in that. So when something happens, then all of a sudden you can't handle it, you can't deal with it, and she's the most coolest person on the planet. Really, you wasn't saying that when you was fucking and had your baby with her, and the most evilest person out. So now she's the most evil person on the planet. It's like, oh, that's emotional. That's not even reasoning. Happened was it was a disagreement, different value system. Right? That's what broke up the relationship. Like said, just was in it for the money. Wasn't you in it for the booty? What was you in it for? She was in it for the money. Then you should have made sure that this is the money that you're going to get. Nothing wrong with getting with somebody this transaction and this business, even in a relationship. This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get monthly. This is what you're going to get yearly. This is what you're going to get if you have my child. This is what you're going to get if we break up. We know what's going on paper. It's documented. So it's not, I thought she loved me. Really? Probably did love you to the extent of capacity to love was. She loved you for your money. She loved you for who you were. She had your child. She, in her mind, I'm gonna be with you for so long, at an expiration date that you didn't know about, and those things that we have to get clear. That's why, especially rich men, have got to be very clear. They bring women into their fold. But men think this is going to last forever because they're on some fairy tale bullshit. She does separate, why believe polyamory is so great, because if it doesn't work, it doesn't stop being your woman. Well, she's just now living her life because she wants her freedom, or she may be tired of being with me every day. Us artists, the easiest persons to deal with every day. You can still deal with her. You can still be a part of what he's doing. This is what I don't understand. How do you think what happens too when you get in these relationships? So you're bringing your woman in, and she's this pretty little thing. Um, it's older. At some point, she's going to want more, which is supposed to be doing, bringing her in the business of what you're doing, helping her create the business that she wants to do. Do you do that? Figure out what her talents are. She don't have no talent. Or maybe she wants to go to school. Start training and getting you in other words, if you're a gold digger, let's really show you how to dig for gold. Now you're going to send your own prosperity. You're going to support the prosperity of what I've created. You're going to be around me since I'm fucking you, and since you have my child. We separate, that doesn't have to stop because we're just physically, now we're living in different households. But you see with Cam Newton was on the show with this young woman, 41-year-old, beautiful woman, 41 and doesn't have a man and got all these reasons why she don't have a man. And she's had 4 engagements. None of them worked out. And she's telling him he has 8 children from 3 different women and he wants more children, that something is wrong with that. Yes, something is wrong with that. But her value system was coming from a monogamous perspective.
Okay, huh? Dwayne. Okay, wait 1 second. Can you hear me? Okay. I want to transition over to Cam, but I want to wrap, but just for making it easier to post. I want to kind of get finished. Anything else you have to say about Tyrese? And then we go.
Tyrese, I just would love to talk to him so he can get clear on who he is and he likes what he's dealing with. Stop thinking it's always about him. You know, so into his emotions and it's me, what they're taking from me or what they're getting from me. Well, how are they thinking? They dealing.
Okay, but we also have to remember something in that he's currently promoting an album that's all about the pain. So you need to talk about, you know what I'm saying? So, who knows how much of this is, I feel like it's some genuine, but you mentioned earlier that he is going and how does a woman feel about that? Well, a woman should understand he's promoting an album that's about his experience with a divorce. So he needs to be talking and crying and doing all that on his show. He needs to be doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm thinking about marketing and business now. He needs to be doing all of that
It's a
to get
good
folks
point.
over there and buy that, to get folks over there to buy the album. You know what I'm
Think,
saying?
think about that point with that you just made. Great. Give you a point. I'm gonna give you a point. I'm talking about where, like what you just said, was that clear type of woman like you're talking about. That she could just read the situation and she's above this little petty bullshit. Because all she does is get petty too. So, and if I'm coming out with an album, think about this. If I'm coming out with an album, I'm talking about the pain of the relationship. You're going to get a piece of the album. See what I'm saying? You're going to get points in the album. But when you're monogamous, you're not thinking that way. Thinking separation. Because this is how you turn the pain into pleasure. Right? I'm going to talk about the pain. I'm going to talk to you, to have a conversation with you. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come at you in the news. You can say anything you want to say. On the back end, we're going to be making money. Right? And we're going to heal. We're going to vent media. And then we're going to come with, solutions and answers. That ain't how they think. This is just war. It's a war zone. Don't nobody care about nobody. She don't have no points, so she's getting the money in another way, and he don't want to give it up because he don't think he should be giving it up. But literally, that's the money he's giving up, probably for the album through child support. He doesn't understand that connection. You're creating you're making money off your misery. She has to deal with that. To deal with everybody coming at her now. That gold digger, that bitch ain't shit, or whatever they're saying. Or gold girl, get that money. Whatever they're saying, she's gonna play a certain role. She may not. I don't know if she still loves him or not. I don't know. Or he's showcasing that other woman. I know it's probably pissing her off because it's a monogamous culture. He's showcasing her like he ain't never had nothing this good. When he had that a couple of years ago, it's the same woman in a different body.
Right.
Energy.
Okay, so whenever you brought up, um, whenever you brought up, um, him going and talking about the one, I thought you were, I was talking about how the current girlfriend he has needs to be understanding of that because he's promoting an album. Now you brought in the ex that he's
Yeah.
complaining about. I don't really think about her. I was more so thinking about because I thought you said earlier he has a woman.
Well,
Current woman.
see, the only reason I mention her like that again, I'm thinking multiple because, for example, my ex, my baby mama, my baby, my oldest daughter's mother. We haven't been together in 30, 40 years,
Mhm.
40 years. She's still my PR person.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Has a book out, support her book. I promote it. So don't read when you understand poly, it don't stop. Monogamous culture stops everything. So so the woman now, she gonna get hers anyway. That energy, that negative vibration, that's to the other woman. It has nothing to do with she showcasing her in another way. She's the new eye candy. She's being well taken care of. And in fact, to me, it's like the way he showcases her and the way she dresses, looking at, baby, you coming out with a fashion line. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting you in business with a fashion line because the way you showcase, I'm showcasing your ass and do some fashion. We're going to do a clothing line for you. He has to understand the business of working with the women and how you are promoting it, where it continues to build your empire. And this is what men don't understand. That new one that he's with, she's so fine, thick, and be dressing her ass off. Never seen nothing like it. It's like, do a panty line, because you always see her panties. Something. Well, make some money off of that. And that's what I mean. In fact, I would see it if I was Tyrese. Again, he's too caught up into him.
Okay, so I want to revisit something that you said about, I just want to be, well, okay, my opinion is, I don't think it's, and I'm not trying to say anything against what you said, but as far as the emotion, I'm very careful about any kind of narrative about men and their emotions and how and trying to shame men or come down on men in any kind of way about being emotional, crying, dealing with pain, anything like that. Because
women do.
yes,
men ain't thinking like. I'm give you purpose with little boys. You know, women let them be. And that's not how we deal with them. It's like my grandson. I've been hanging around him for a lot. He's scared the shit. He scared the shit out of a bug. It's that from being on his mother and his little sister. He jump and run from bugs, and he decided, "Oh, look, it's your ground." Pick up something and hit it with the bug, or take it out, put a cup on it, and take it out into the outside. To walk him through that, get caught up in your emotions. Now, be scared, but humans gonna run. You have to use the fear, turn it into action. Solution. Do something about that bug.
okay, so you're trying to get him to be courageous, which is the definition of courageous, which is having feeling fear and doing some shit you got to do anyway. But okay, but where is the but do you see the problem with men, the whole boys don't cry thing? The whole
Oh, wow.
no, but like, do you see the issue in society that we're having with men mentally not having a safe space to show emotions, acting like nothing hurts? And those are the ones that be beating women ass, essaying people, the crazy motherfuckers right here, that
That's where
have
their
all
emotions come out. That's where their emotions come out.
okay, no, but I'm saying though, if the narrative or the conversation about men don't need to show emotion or cry creates the crazy motherfuckers at a red light beating somebody's ass because they don't have it's that's why men don't want to go to therapy. Men don't want to do the mental work because it's looked down upon to have emotions that are not anger or happiness. It's like men got to be these two dimensional. You need to be mad or you can be happy. Like no, like aren't emotions a human right? Like shouldn't men be able to express all that, even if they find a therapist to do it with? I'm not saying that you need to. I'm not saying that every time you want to cry, you need to pick up your cell phone and film it. I'm saying what is wrong with men having all of the emotions? Like what's wrong with that?
Anything's wrong with it, but men better learn how to meditate,
But I
learn
mean,
how to deep
that's what I'm
breathe,
saying. Like, okay, they men don't have a safe space to have these
calm
feelings.
down. But that's the game that society runs. Men are men. We when you talk about masculine presence, you have to understand how to. We work on ourselves is totally different the way we women do. Like I'm in a couple of men's groups. Not sitting up there crying over each other and sob stories. We vent a lot, vent a lot. Some of us do get emotional, but we don't stay in that emotion. You know why? Because this is why we don't stay in the emotion. Because we know this is a masculine thing. We have to be that rock. That we do use our emotions to make sure everyone is loved and everyone is taken care of. Not
Yeah, but yeah,
into our pain. See, that's what women want us to do.
no,
Women,
no, no,
no
no, no,
matter
no, no,
what
no.
women say, no matter what women say, we're not like that. We're not built to show emotion all the fucking time.
Okay, but okay, we'll see. But nobody says show emotion all the time. I'm saying show it when it's
Right now, I'm
when,
emotional. I'm letting it out
what,
now. I'm making a point. You know,
no,
it's like
what I'm
women
saying is
don't. I hear where you're coming from. Understand, but I'm saying no. That's not how we are, and that's how I will not raise my sons like that. Show emotions all the time because women
and
don't
it,
like it.
but
Men don't like it.
who said show emotions all the time? I mean, I didn't say that. I'm saying show emotions when they need to be shown. You know what I'm saying? But not all the time. No, I'm not okay. Let me be very clear. A man crying all the time. Every day you're crying about every day you done found something to cry about all day every day. No. But if something happens that is hurtful, it is normal for a human to release tears out of their eyes.
Yeah,
It's normal. All right. If somebody passes away, if something hurts your feelings, if a divorce happens, a miscarriage happens, whatever. If something hurts you, I didn't give a fuck if a business deal go down and you thought it was a big business deal and it fails. If you go on Shark Tank and you don't get a deal and you feel like you need to cry about that, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying cry about it for 30 days straight and you're not fixing it and you're not doing it, you're not going to therapy, you're not processing, you're not growing. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying somebody crying because something is hurtful emotionally is okay with me if it's
free,
even if it's a man. Now, I'm not talking about what you're saying.
free,
I'm saying I'm not if you were 40-year olds and you crying because it's a roach crawling and you're scared and you didn't cry because there's a roach there, we may have a problem. But within reason, some tears are fine.
free,
That's what I'm saying. You know,
free.
and I'm sure you would teach your son to embrace and own and process his emotions. Because he has to. He has to process his shit. You have to
It's what
process
it
your
is.
emotions.
Depends what it is. I pick and choose what when he processes and when he gets over something. In other words, like I said, see, it's something called reframe. Women like to go through that long, drawn out process of, sometimes some things are this to martial arts. Things you have to change and adapt in the moment. You can go back later and into, well, why that happened and process and all that. In the moment, to make decisions quickly. Can't give a fuck about somebody's feelings. Can't give a fuck about our feelings in the moment. I'm just saying, I see you do it all the time.
Yeah,
Point,
but
the,
the thing is, and some shit. I mean,
but the reality,
like it's situational. Is my point.
situational.
That's what I'm saying. But I feel like the problem is the narrative is a lot of black men especially feel it's no situation in which they need to cry, no situation in which they need to process their emotions. You have a lot of emotionally stunted, abusive niggas out here that because of this narrative, they ain't never. You said okay because just a minute ago you said sometimes we got to make a decision quickly and deal with our emotions later, but later never comes for a lot of these men. So you have back turners, you have drug addicts, rappers doing lean, you have all of that because the later never came. They just move it, move it, move it, move it. They wonder why they're 30 and suicidal because they've never done it. So therefore, I don't give a how many tears you need to shed. I don't need more. We don't need more drug addicted, abusive people who refuse to go get help and go get therapy. So we have to be, and it all starts with the boys don't cry shit. And I'm not, and again, I'm with you. Your example with the boy and the bug and all that, that's cool. But at the same time, I feel we need to be very careful with it. That's why I started the conversation with saying, I'm glad we have people like Charlamagne the guy who's saying, I be in therapy and I be crying in therapy. I go through my feelings. Be and I'm not even trying to say you need to be going and processing your feelings with your woman all the time. Have a therapist, but why don't men go to get therapy or meditate, any kind of self help? Because they gotta tough it out and all that shit. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying we just be careful with it. But I think we're essentially saying the same thing. I think we are essentially. But I just want to be sure that my audience doesn't, that men don't feel like they can't cry or express emotion
They
or be in their bag.
cry, you know,
The shit hurts. Thing you're human, though. I think it's to dehumanize. We have to be careful not to dehumanize men. All right, let's be careful not to dehumanize y'all. You are evolved and all that, but you are still fucking human, aren't you? Can't you still can't you still be hurt by things? I mean,
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
as evolved as you are.
and I will let women know that I'm hurting, that I'm in pain. Just don't stay there.
I'm with you. I'm with you on stay. I'm with you on not. You don't want to stay there forever. Come on now. You don't want to be in that energy for a long
Once I
time.
let it out, I let them know what's going on. I don't stay there. Then, as men do, as after we process, going to find the solution. The thing is, what men don't do, like you just said, don't process. It's when do you process? It's like, because a lot of times we are allowing women to process, and we're too tired to process. After we go through teaching our women process and helping them, supporting them in their process, we're done. The best thing that we could do is get out and do something for ourselves. That's what happens a lot. So we do have to take time out to come back, let the woman know, I need some healing. I need some support. But in a loving way where she understands that you're showing your vulnerability. Because I think a lot of times men are, let's say, insecure, but not secure enough to show men vulnerability, because a lot of women, as we talk about the other side, well, because everybody's not as advanced as you, use it against you later. So we're very cautious in how much we open up to a woman and what signs we show to her, because we don't want it to come back in our faces. She's in a bad mood, or she doesn't like the way I did something.
Understandable. Women, especially in the black community, are verbally and emotionally and physically abusive, and that's a whole nother conversation. They are. Okay. And that's a whole nother thing. But so, all right. So I want to talk about Cam Newton, but I want to make it a separate video. So, what if you could rap? If I was Tyrese right now, what would you wrap it up to me and kind of say?
That was Tyrese. He's got to understand that he's got to talk to more men more than he knows, and have some elder, actually say some elder singers, and who are in show business, like a Smokey Robinson, uh, like a Stevie Wonder, been there and done that. These men have been through multiple women. They have sustained a career that's very successful, and they're, or if you go into Stevie has multiple. So, like, go into um, the reality of what the elders have done, know how to navigate, have some mentorship, he knows how to navigate in a better way, right? Because Tyrese, to me, really, he has the potential be, he has the looks, he has the charm, he has the charisma, he has the talent, please, and he sings. He has the potential to be a super, super, super star. Once he understands he is loved, Tyrese is loved. And love him. Once he understands that, he'll stop getting into some Watts. Well, plus, he's a dark skinned brother, too. So he probably got issues there, being dark, but he's so, look at him, he's got such a kingly African king. His features, he looks like a model. Features are amazing. So I think tone, the way he talks, his speaking voice, he has all these elements that he understands that he's truly is a king and he rules, but he's getting out of that. I hate to say it, you always talk about it. Christian,
Oh Lord,
he goes for that Christian theology.
don't get me
He
on.
caught up into that where it's like, you know, I think that holds him back as well. I think
Jose,
when he, hmm?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just agreeing with you.
So I think if he really, but I think he just needs to talk to some elders and get that part of his life together because he has so much potential.
I think he needs to talk to you or Rakim Saku. I think
Yeah,
he
I mean,
needs to,
yeah,
he needs to talk to an elder that is polyamorous and not Christian. That's what he needs to talk to. So I think that's dope. I love your commentary on that, and I wanna and so yeah. So y'all, if y'all watching this, y'all can obviously comment on that. You know, this is the legendary Dewayne Mooney, who comes from Paul Mooney. That's the baby. That's his offspring here. Uh, and one thing I love about Dewayne Mooney is he's gonna say what the fuck it is. Okay, and I really love it. I mean, even if he's saying some shit that I don't necessarily agree with, and maybe if he getting on my ass about some shit, it don't matter. I just know it's gonna be the shit. It's gonna be the real shit because it's cliche, but real not only recognizes real, but appreciates the fuck out of real. See, I don't just like Dwayne Mooney when he going off on other folks, but not on me. He going off on me, but he done told me some shit about myself. Say, can I agree? I may disagree, but I love the fact that he said it. All right. So with that being said, comment and all that shit, and we're gonna get out of here. I want to talk to you about something else too. So all right, bye y'all.